So welcome to the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, a weekly community call where we talk about the latest on Microsoft 365 Power Platform, Copilot Studio, Copilots, and Microsoft Teams, and Power Apps, and Power Automate, and many other things. My name is Ayça Baş. I'm a principal product manager for Microsoft, and today is August 26th. We are still, this is the last episode when we're having the summer community call takeover, and this is a really good example of the community call takeover because we only have community demos within this call. So typically within the Tuesday call, this is dedicated for Microsoft demos. What it means is that Microsoft product managers, engineers, cloud advocates, and so on are going to show you always the latest and greatest. We, however, quite often actually cancel this call during July and August, except for this year, because we had so much volunteered community members to do their demos and a lot of awesome content from the different hackathons what we were executing in spring 2025. So today, we're going to actually have two hackathon showcases from two different hackathons in spring 2025. So Elianne is going to show AI-driven archiving of SharePoint sites, and this was actually Powerful Devs Hackathon Winner within the Powerful Devs Hackathon, which is happening, I think, if I remember correctly, roughly in April 2025. And then we have Tobias, Nishkalank, Guido, and Emanuele creating a Copilot Learning Center portal, which was from the SharePoint Hackathon, which is happening in February, March. I can't remember when it was happening. It's not so long time ago, but it's a really cool demo as well, coming from the hackathon and well rated in the internal systems as well. Before we go to the actual stars of the day, we recap some of the assets which are available, also latest news. We do a quick group photo with the Microsoft Teams to get a mode picture and put that picture in social media as well. Now, today we only have two demos, which means that we have a bit more extra time for the demos, which is great, but we're still trying to catch up or keep the schedule of getting to the demo section roughly quarter past. So that's kind of the typical schedule, what we're going to do always within this calls. Now, I'm not going to mention all of the URLs in this slide. There's a lot of content for you to take advantage as you are moving along within this journey of Copilots and Microsoft 365 and Power Platform and what can be actually done here. So we do have our YouTube channel, which is completely against all of the YouTube algorithms and recommendations, which is roughly publish 2 videos in a week. Well, we don't want to do that. We have so much cool content and that we want to actually roll out within this channel every single day. We actually will move into a more frequent sequencing in the future because there's so much content what we want to actually get you out. And then you as a consumer of the content, you can actually have a look on, is this relevant for me? And then you can skip the video if you're not, if it's not relevant for you. But you definitely want to subscribe there so you're able to follow up on all of the awesome content what is getting out from that channel. LinkedIn, open source, sample galleries, a lot of URLs. All of the URLs can be found at AKMS Community Home or from a bit more easier to remember URL, which is community.ms. Both of those are working as well. Now, we do have a lot of community calls. As mentioned already, this Tuesday call, which is happening every single Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, has been having this community takeover, where we have been also having community demos within this calls during July and August. Now, we will move back on Microsoft executed demos on this call starting next week, and we do have a lot of great content already scheduled throughout September and October. So we know a lot of awesome stuff on that pipeline. On top of that, we have Power Platform monthly community call, Office and monthly community call, and then we have our 7 a.m. Thursday series, which in the past it has been either Microsoft 365 Power Platform community call, SharePoint Framework, or Viva Connection community call. We are actually looking into combining these. So just to make sure that people it's easier to understand which call is what, we are most likely moving into this model where we have the Microsoft presented call on Tuesday, community presented call on Thursday, and then we're going to mix and match the content in all of those. So rather than trying to explain what does that bi-weekly sequencing mean on Thursday, it's easier to say every single Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, there's a community demos happening, and you can always check up the agenda on those calls advance from the meetup service. We're publishing always previous Friday or weekend. We're publishing the community call agenda, so you can always check that do you want to be in that call or not. Now, if you have any feedback on that one on the chat, please provide the feedback on the thinking on how we're going to do the community calls in future. There we go. Now, a lot of those community calls, we do welcome a lot of community demos as well. So you, as an attendee within this call, you could be actually a presenter like Elianne or Guido within this call, and other people presenting these things. And the value of that one for you is that we will even buddy up you if you're not familiar or you don't feel comfortable of doing these demos, but you can practice your community presentation. You can test out things. You can learn how to be a better presenter and explain your story about these features within a Microsoft 365 Power Platform, Copilot, Microsoft Teams, whatever is within your mind. There's always a new story. Every single one of us are unique. We have a different perspective on explaining how we're getting started or what are we learning, or explaining or sharing what you have built on top of any of the things within this products. So please sign up for the demos. We'll get you then scheduled in the future calls as well. Doesn't have to be rocket science. The getting started stuff is more than welcome. As said, every single one of us has a unique approach on how do we do things, and sharing those with other people in the community is valuable. There's also a lot of content available in the Microsoft Learn platform. So a lot of content there. So please take advantage of that one, all free. So depending on what are you looking into learning, go always there first. A lot of modules to get started on all of the things which might be interesting for you. We also have a lot of samples available. So we do welcome community contributions as a sample, and then all of those samples from Microsoft or from community are all surfaced from a one centralized location at the AKMS community samples site. So really great location to go to and looking into what kind of solutions are being built, what kind of capabilities are available within Microsoft 365 or Power Platform. Now, we also have, for those samples, if you are into the Copilot and Copilot Studio and AI, you can actually use that sample information as using an MCP server. This is a great way of actually learning how the MCPs are actually working. You can also use this in GitHub Copilot, so you can actually directly within Visual Studio Code, potentially, you can have a look on, hey, maybe there's a sample already available, which would actually get me unblocked on this and this thing. You can actually tap into the MCP server, which will give you access on all of that information within our sample. So great option to take advantage as well. Now, as you find a sample, or you might be thinking, I want to contribute, we do have awesome guidance for you to get started on that one. And directly from LA, Hollywood, almost Hollywood, we have David Warner explaining what is that all about.
Yes, Hollywood. Yes, a little outside of it, but hey, it's close enough. So everybody, what is sharing is caring. It is getting back on the schedule for everyone after a summer of breaks for all. So thank you for your patience. But this program is providing hands-on guidance. What does it mean? It means that we will join a live Teams call and walk through how to make a contribution through that confusing labyrinth of GitHub with phrases like fork and blame and raw and pull request. And what do all they mean? We will demystify it for you. And by the way, we're looking at some new topics for some of those lower hanging fruit opportunities, like the submitting of prompts or the Copilot samples. We'll see a little bit more about that in a moment, but those are great opportunities. So if we can combine, and maybe you bring with you a prompt and we'll do it together, how does that sound? So all of a sudden you're making a contribution and you're learning at the same time, which is a great opportunity. So be on the lookout. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Would love to hear if there is interest in those kinds of topics, because it is a double bonus opportunity, and would love to empower you all to do more. So keep an eye out for that and reach out to me with any questions. And then once you do contribute, we want to recognize you. That's where our award-winning, best in class, by the way, recognition program has come into play. So this program is made in connection with Credly, and we fund it. There is no cost to join. We just need you to opt in. We're in the middle of superhero season. In fact, you also see that new Agent Academy badge that just came out. Everybody's going gaga over. It's fantastic. And of course, in the middle of superhero season. So this is the bonus badge that you get when you earn the other four. We've seen more contributors earning this bonus badge, which is awesome. So keep going, keep contributing. We appreciate everything you're doing. There is no cost. ak.ms/community/recognition. Just need you to opt in and we will follow it. And of course, we're getting into that fall season, so we're going to see things like the season of getting and slice of samples and all those fun ones that show that you're continuing to do contributions year after year. And we cannot thank you enough. This program is a success because of you. So really appreciate it. Vesa, back to you in the Finland studios.
Excellent. Thank you, Hollywood. Finland taking over. And like David was saying, this is best-in-class program. acknowledged by Credly as the best-in-class program as well, which is really, really cool. So please sign up and get involved within the batches as well. So great work over there by everybody who are involved and coordinating the thing as well. Now, on the event side, we already, for the TechCon 365, we already had a Seattle in June. August already happened in Atlanta. Dallas is still coming up on TechCon 365 series in November. We also have the Power Platform Community Conference coming up in October 28th to 13th. So really great conference happening in MTM Grant at Las Vegas. So please join us over there as well. Then following up on that one, we do have Ignite coming up in San Francisco. So Ignite is going back on San Francisco. We were actually San Francisco, if I remember correctly, 2018, 2017. We were in Chicago. No, Build was in San Francisco, and then Ignite was actually following week in Chicago, which is a bit weird. But Ignite is now in November 7th in San Francisco. Sorry, my brain, I'm thinking on what's happening in historical things. Now, ESBC coming out right after that in 1st to 4th of December 2025 at Dublin, great venue. We've been there in the past in ESBC as well. And then already next year, we know that there's an ECS 2026 happening in Cologne from 5th to 7th of May 2026. So these are the big conferences which are happening all around the world in partnership with Microsoft. And then on top of this, we do have a bit smaller conferences happening all around the world as well. So starting from today, we have Dublin, Ohio, a Dynamics Regional Ohio Valley Conference or a get-together, and then a lot of other events happening all around the different areas from Poland to Philippines to Texas, Minnesota, France, and so on. So a lot of conferences and events happening where you can meet other people within the community. So please go to communitydays.org. You can see the full list of events. Now, during this week, not that much news. So I think it seems to be that our marketing is now, right now, this week or previous week, has been on a summer vacation. And so we only have 5 news across all of the different sources, what we are tracking, but great updates on Viva Amplify and also from SharePoint side on certain things as well. So great new capabilities rolling out every single day, cross Power Platform, Copilot Studio, Copilot, and Microsoft 365, and so on. Now, we also are always running our Copilot prompt library and capturing more prompts over here as well. So AKMS PMP prompt library, great way of actually contributing and finding really cool prompts on how we can adjust the Copilot behavior. And the prompt of the week this week is coming from Joshua Shapland around helping you to craft better AI prompts with clear guidance. So basically, you make the AI to help you to create with the prompt to create better prompts. If that makes sense. It kind of made sense, probably. It made sense. But basically use the AI for the benefit of learning how we can make your own prompts better. It's a really, really great example of using efficiently AIs and prompting for your benefit. Now, before we go to the actual starts of the day, let's do a quick group photo together. So I will set up the together mode. I will put the cameras on, and I will put the recording enabled. So let's see if we can actually get the cameras working. Today, it is looking not bad at all. So I do want to actually flip the scene, so we're not always looking to be in the same room. Let's be in the forest. Forest is always good. I like green. If we can actually flip the scene. There we go. That looks much better. So we do have 50 seats in the room. So let's wait for a while for people to enabling their camera, and then Teams realizing that you have enabled the camera and then sending that to the server and then broadcasting that back on the feed. So let's wait a few more things. I can see Paolo, I can see Guido, I can see a lot of familiar faces there. Which is good. We're already almost dancing. We're not yet recording. A few more seconds. Anybody? Any more people? Maybe we'll start the recording on. Okay, so let's do 3, 2, 1. Let's do some hand waving. Everybody, thank you for being part of this community. Thank you, Dot, showing the example on the back row. Really, really cool with Stephanie. Really, really cool to have you on the call as well. Smiling faces, always good. Thank you. We'll grab a GIF animation out of that and share that in the social media right after the call. But cool. I think we are good to go then on the actual stars of today. So we're going to start with Elianne on the AI-driven archiving, and then we're going to move to Tobias, Nishkalank, Guido, and Emanuele on the Create and Copilot Learning Center. But Elianne, are you good to go?
Yeah, thank you, Feta, for introducing me. I would love to share indeed something about the AI-driven archiving of SharePoint sites, which we created as part of a powerful Devs Hackathon. And I will share a PowerPoint, and let's see.
Yep.
Works out. It's loading my slides.
If you, by the way, Elianne, if you can, the screen sharing works better, because if you are flipping between a demo and presentation, it gets to be even better. But again, you can use the Power Platform Live nowadays. It seems to be working fine. Your call.
Oh yeah, I will switch off to my demo indeed. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Then I will just stick to my screen sharing mode. First, I would like to just give an overview of what we did and what the scenario looked like. Some topics I would like to highlight during this demo. The reason why we created it, the scenario we wanted to support, something regarding the scalability, security, and of course the AI power we used to create this solution. Something about the architecture, and of course a demo about what it looks like for an end user. So the occasion we created the solution was because of the hack together from the powerful Devs, which took place back in February this year. And the challenge was to discover what we could do using AI and Copilot, helping us both developing the app, but also create benefits for the end user. I will do this demo by myself, but back in the Netherlands, we do have a team at Blis Digital, which created with the three of us together this solution. So I really want to mention them as well. So we as a team created a solution in which we wanted to, in the real life, we meet people who are struggling archiving or managing their life cycle from their SharePoint sites. And some archivist needs to kind of quickly evaluate what they need to do for a SharePoint site. Of course, we can think of other ways like retention policies, but okay, in a lot of scenarios, organizations didn't have that in place, and still they want to have the life cycle in a proper way. And archivists, most of the time, they are not involved in, like, for example, a project which took place on the SharePoint site, and still they need to kind of evaluate what they need to do with that information stored on that site. And that's what we wanted to streamline and make it, of course, AI powered for them to make it easy to see a summary, to analyze kind of the sentiments, and decide on how to move on with the life cycle of the SharePoint site. So what was the actual reason? So we really wanted to support the archivists and the SharePoint administrators who struggle with the daily work, and help them with the unclear ownership. And it's a time-consuming task they need to do, and most of the time it isn't their highest priority to do, but it still needs to be done. And we want to help them with the decision making and streamline the process, so it is a clear process in place for that part. And not only for the administrators, it's a good process. You do also have some management information available and have better insights on what happened on your tenant. So I will go back to a demo. Let's see if I can share my screen in a different way. Share my screen. And I really wanted to be sure that the demo just worked properly. So I did do a recording. And over here we see the Power App which we created, and it's loading the data from all the SharePoint sites that are available on this tenant. And you can see like there are different kind of statuses. And in this example, we are going to take a look at the project email archiving SharePoint site and see some details, like we still need to start the process for this site. It hasn't been archived yet, and we didn't do anything with it. And we do have some metadata available from the SharePoint site, like when the last modified dates and something regarding the amount of documents, etc. And then we can start an AI assessment, which turning on the background, there needs to be created a summary from all the information on the SharePoint site and from the most important documents, also the sources mentioned. And we also want to have kind of a sentiment around the summary that is created, so we get a clear overview what's done on the site. And when it's not clear yet, we do have an extra button to chat with the agent. So live on the SharePoint agent is provisioned to the site, and then you are able to kind of have a more deep dive without reading all the documents that are on the SharePoint site. You can ask questions, and in this case, we just started with the basic starter questions, conversation starters. But while provisioning a SharePoint agent, we can also tweak the conversation starters to set and tweak the questions we would like to start a conversation with, or you can ask just your own questions specifically for this type of, in this case, a project you want to evaluate. So you still have the overview of what's available on the SharePoint site itself. And then when you finished your advice, you can select what you would like to do with the site. And for this example, we choose delete after 5 years. And then we can also, when you're not sure it's your advice, but you would like to have a second opinion, you can think about an approval process. So you can ask or double check with a colleague. And in the above part of the screen, you can see the progress of the archiving of this site specific. And in the background, you can think of setting up retention policies in the background, so you can do it afterwards using this process. So that's what an end user, an administrator, etc., can use to manage the life cycle. So let's go back to the presentation mode. So to be clear for what we used AI part for, we did use the AI search part, so we could create the summary for the SharePoint site. So we could index what's on the site. And for the chat agent, we did an on-demand SharePoint agent, so it wasn't there by default on all the sites. But when the administrator would like to have that agent, it's provisioned at the moment they click on the button. And we added just more for the fun part, the sentiment analyzer. So we also use the Dataverse AI function out of the box, so we can have a little bit of a sentiment. But the most important part is more like the summary of the site, what's happened over there. And a challenge for the administrator is to think also regarding a good system prompt. What would I like to know about the content that's available on the SharePoint site? How I can decide on what I want to do with the site. So here is an overview of the architecture. It's maybe it looks a bit impressive, but it's quite easy to explain when you know the part of the Power Platform artifacts. We can see the Power App, which we just saw in the demo, and there it's a flow which can create the SharePoint agent, and of course all the information is stored into Dataverse, and the AI search part is used to index the information on what's on the SharePoint site and to get the content back to get a summary. That's what the initial architecture looks like, but we are really looking forward to a new architecture, and that we are really looking forward to a roadmap feature that's still in development, unfortunately. But that would make the architecture way easier. Then we can just use AI Foundry to have access to the SharePoint data, and then send a request and get a response instead of setting up the AI search and blob storage part. But back in February, that roadmap feature was in development, so we couldn't use that then. And I just double-checked it this weekend, and it's unfortunately still in development. But that's I'm really looking forward to that feature to really improve this solution as well. It's this just for documentation reasons I added a slide about the roadmap feature I'm mentioning. And one of the challenges in the hackathon was to think about the scalability and, of course, security. This setup makes it really scalable regarding the SharePoint, the number of SharePoint sites. It doesn't matter how many sites you have. It doesn't matter the amount of content you have on your SharePoint site. And because we just provision the SharePoint agent on demand, it doesn't matter how many you would like to create. And of course, we took a look at the security part, and based on the user authentication, but we did take the admin perspective. You can see what you're allowed to see, but because it's used by administrators, they're allowed to see a lot of information. And because of the automated process, you can create an approval and call it a second opinion can be implemented as well. For the background information, I added some links to the resources. The app and some flows are available on GitHub. You feel free to use. There are also some explanations regarding the solution over there, both the setup in general and specifically the how to provision the SharePoint agent is fully written, so you can use it yourself on your own tenant. And yeah, I wanted to mention it. We are Microsoft created a case based on this solution, which made us proud that they did. And I wanted to share that here, and you can read it to have some background information about the solution. And it's always good to create things in line with the mission, and we're probably all familiar with the mission that that Microsoft wants to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And we wanted to have to align with the updated version. So we are the agent company, and so we created agents. So we believe in the future where there will be an agent for everyone, and in this case, everything we do, also archiving SharePoint sites. Thanks for your attention, and feel free to ask questions maybe afterwards or reach out to me via LinkedIn. And yeah, so cool that I was able to share this with you and enjoy the other demo as well. This for me it's afternoon, so for today.
Cool. Thank you, Elianne. Really, really cool. Awesome work on the solution. Really, really great work on that as the team, and also awesome work today on the presentation. So really, really cool. Thank you for that. I think the links, somebody's asking the link in the chat. I think David actually shared the links, Paul, for you in the chat like 5 steps before, just calling that out. So thank you, Elianne, also providing resources, all of the links, everything is available for everybody to take advantage. Then it is time to go to the next demo of today. So right on schedule, so we can actually move into Nishkalank. Emanuele, Guido, and Tobias has a really, really cool story here to tell as well. And Tobias is sharing. Do we have audio as well?
Thanks, Visa. Yeah,
yes,
we
audio.
have.
Excellent. All good. Take it away.
Cool. Thanks. I'm going to prepare and share everything that we have to share. And I guess now I'm ready. Emanuele, okay. Your call.
Yes, it's my time now. Yes, in this couple of minutes, we try to explain to you our project. Let's say our project was called the Copilot Learning Center, and we created this project, of course, for the hackathon, as you know, and especially we try to explain to you what we did and, of course, how we did. But just for let's say for notice you. We don't go too much deep in the details, in the technical details, because of course of the lack of the time. But we share with you, of course, all the implementation details that we did, of course, and the global perspective of everything. Of course, we need to cover a little bit our approach and technical approach, because at the end we are developers. Because as you can see, we are 4 in the team. If you go to the next slide, Toby, we are 4 in the team, and all of us are more or less developers. Guido, everyone knows Guido, I think, in this call, and also Toby and Nish. Maybe I'm the only one that no one knows me, because I'm not anymore a little bit in Microsoft 365 world, because I do something else, but I'm still a developer. And in the next few minutes, we try to explain to you, let's say, our idea, of course, in the first couple of minutes, and then how we implement, and of course, how also we worked together for this project. Toby, stage is yours.
Thanks, Emma. So let's talk about our idea. Our SharePoint Hackathon 2025 entries a comprehensive Copilot learning center. It's more or less a SharePoint communication site designed to help users to learn about Microsoft Copilot and effectively manage AI assistants across their organization. This solution provides organizations with better governance over AI assistants while making Copilot knowledge more accessible to end users. And our initial idea was to build a simple dashboard about Copilot, with the goal to bring up all Copilots within your tenant in one dedicated place. Then, after exchanging some thoughts, having fun, and telling some bad jokes, as we always do, we've ended up following the idea to bring a learning center to life. In order to provide meaningful insights into Copilot users, or insights to Copilot users, a learning center that was ready to use, but nevertheless fully customizable along a company's needs. Let's have a closer look at it. This is it, our Copilot Learning Center. In the current version, it has built on top of out-of-the-box features of SharePoint Online, and has been enriched with some open source web parts from the PnP community, as well as some custom code web parts. And this was done on purpose because we wanted to combine the low-code approach by using the platform, the SharePoint platform, and the SharePoint platform's capabilities, as well as some community plugins, with the pro-code approach for some custom SharePoint SPFX web parts that Nish, Guido, and me have built. Guido and Nish will tell you more on this shortly. For us, building this stuff was more than only a technical challenge. Besides only writing code that generates some custom SharePoint framework web parts, we also wanted to bring in an educational perspective, in the sense of building a place within a company's intranet where employees can find and learn all they want to know from an employee's perspective, all they need to know about Copilot. So let's call our solution a very domain-specific knowledge information system. And of course, we wanted to build it on SharePoint Online. Where else? Once again, to get to the point, what started as an initial idea to build something about Copilot is now the realization of an idea of a Copilot learning center built or fully built on SharePoint, combining different purposes and integrating several web parts. But now let's start talking about the structure of the site and the building blocks of which our solution consists. Guido, give it a go.
Yes, Toby. Can you please return back to the slides so we can all see?
Thank you. Sorry.
No worries. Just so everyone is on the same page. The next one. So, yes, let's talk about some quick facts about the technology stack where we developed the tools for that they use custom code. This is all about the SharePoint framework, because we built it with the SharePoint framework version 1.20. We considered using the version 1.21, but it was in beta at the time, and we decided to go for a more stable version instead of the beta one. We also use the React and TypeScript for modern UI development. we use the Fluent UI for consistency with Microsoft 365 design language. And we also decided to use the Microsoft 365 APIs for tenant-wide AI file management and retrieval. So going to the next slide, Toby, please. Okay. And here you can see the educational resources. This is a section of our Copilot Learning Center, and it's a curated collection of Microsoft Copilot documentation and training materials. This is powered by the M365 Learning Pathways. Sixth step to Microsoft Copilot is a comprehensive knowledge base for easy onboarding. And also we have an embedded video content from the official Microsoft resources. All the material here was intended to help users to get started with Copilot and also to sharpen the knowledge about it. It's not a completely finished learning resource, as Toby already said. It's more like an entry point to collect according resources at a central place. That's why we choose the M365 Learning Pathways resource. By using this grid content, the Learning Center can be extended accordingly to every company's needs. And now the mic goes to Nish.
Thanks, Guido. This section brings the insights in the actual availability of copilots within your tenant. It means to be a central management interface for all the AI assistants in your tenant with real-time metrics showing such as total AI files available and number of Copilot files available and number of SharePoint agents. So we've decided to use PNP Modern Search web parts because they bring in awesome capabilities in information retrieval as well as huge possibilities of design customization. Otherwise, we would have ended up implementing the whole business logic to handle search queries and process search results. And also because we wanted to do a big shout out to the PNP community. So now back to you, Guido.
Thanks, Nish. Here we have the advanced filtering and search, and the main purpose of this table is meant to aggregate all the available copilots and agents within your tenant at a glance, and allowing users to get insights and details about those alongside a few different operations. The interactive dashboard table, which was built as a custom SharePoint framework web part, displays in the first column, the file type indicators, such as the .copilot or .agent files. In the second column, we have the file names, such as the name of the resource. The third column has the creator information. And in the last column, we have the action buttons, such as the folder button to directly open the location of the .copilot or .agent file, as well as the dialog button to start prompting the agent itself. Another capability offered by the table is the toggle on the upper sidebar, where it's used to switch between viewing all the AI files available or just those created by the current user. There's as well a tab that filters all files by AI type, either Copilot or SharePoint agent files. And then we have the search box in the upper section of the table, which is again powered by the PNP Modern Search and is connected to the custom SharePoint framework web part. This search box allows users to filter the table's result by the inserted text. And now back to Nish.
Perfect. So yes, Toby, can you go back to the slide, please? No, the one which I'm going to talk is direct interaction. Thank you. Perfect. So yes, talking about the action buttons with a little more context here. So we, as Guido said, that by clicking on a respective dialog button from any resource in the table, there's the capability to open any of the AI file just in one click and interact with them directly through a convenient dialog. So the bishop says that this is the way the way to interact with all AI files within your tenant, right from the Copilot Learning Center. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So next slide, please, again. Yep, thank you. Again, for every resource in the table, there's a capability to show the selected AI file details and instructions. So for this reason, we built another web part. This one takes all the information about the selected AI file. To make the scenario more complicated from a technical point of view, we've decided to implement another web part, which is again connected to the web part that shows the AI file details. Let's call it as summarization web part. Inside the summarization web part, there's a magic button that activates a specialized Copilot that was built in Copilot Studio and have integrated in SPFX component along with single sign-on capability. This is really cool as well because it's an agent that uses a prompt to prompt another Copilot to summarize the file's purpose, usage guidelines, and to describe practical use cases. A pretty nice setup, right? Um, and now some words to the methodology or about how we work together. Go ahead, Toby.
Thank you very much, Nish. So let's wrap up. As in every project, we had to discuss the way that we work together. Each of us live in a different place. All of us live in Europe, but in different countries, and certain cultural differences could be associated with this. So Guido lives in Italy, where Nish lives in Sweden, and Emanuele and I live in Switzerland. And to be honest, it was our first project of this kind and in this group constellation. Of course, this always bears certain risks. You have to find each other first. You can't predict the team's performance, and you don't know which inner attitudes and paradigms the individual team members stand for. After all, we got to know each other at the last ESPC 24 in Stockholm, which was great. And the tech event quickly formed into a deep friendship. So guys, I have to tell you here, I'm so happy that I've met you there and that the Bishop united us in Stockholm. So that's an insider joke, sorry for that. But seriously spoken, we can honestly say that not only one of the challenges I mentioned before occurred. The teamwork worked 100% and we could rely on each other another 100%. Nevertheless, we had to tackle some challenges, as I've told, because we are geographically dispersed and we never worked on a tech-oriented project together, which we all love and which we all do in our daily jobs, but not in these combinations. And these 4 challenges are worth mentioning. We had to find an idea, what we wanted to implement. And as we told you, there was the start was given with a search query to get all agents through a tenant. We wanted to offer a place to the users where they can learn more about Copilot and search all the Copilots available in the tenant, because at that time there was no such capability that aggregated all the Copilots dispersed in a tenant in one single place. And we have iteratively and incrementally shaped our initial idea to an implementation plan that really worked. And for a second point, we had to design the solution architecture. That means define structure of the SharePoint site, discuss implementation of the structure of the learning center that came out after the initial discussions. Or we had to distill how to integrate P&P modern search in the dashboard and discuss and figure out how to build the so-called magic wand functionality to call the Copilot agent to summarize the agent that you've selected, which Nish was talking about. Then the third place is we had to discuss about the general process to structure our work tasks. we defined to do some Teams calls on a regularly basis. So we had to shape out the issues that we wanted to build. So we had to define and write down all those issues and assign them to a responsible within a team. Or there was the implementation discussions that, along the process that we had to transfer every assigned issue into a code representation. Let's say an implementation facing state-of-the-art methods, and we did this by using forks of the of the main repository, by using common version control system features. We were using Git for this with us, and we had to ensure quality by doing code reviews, and as well the integration or manually integrating the whole stuff from the fork, from our local forks into the dev branch, and then to be merged with the main branch in the main repository. So we called we created pull requests, and we worked along those pull requests and those integration flows within the team. And last but not least, we had to give our team a meaningful name, which ended up the Bishops Teams. Not the Bishops Team, not Teams. So this is it about our contribution or our submission to the 2025 SharePoint Hackathon. And many thanks to all of you for joining this community call and lending an ear to our story about our Copilot Learning Center. And many thanks also to the organizers for giving us the opportunity to talk about our submission. We're so happy to have been a part of the hackathon, and we, the Bishops teams, will definitely be back at the next opportunity. And with that, back to David or Visa. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Tobias. Thank you, Guido. Thank you, Nishkalank. And thank you, Emanuele. Really, really cool stuff and an awesome story. I like the fact that you're elaborating also on non-technical things because quite often it's not just the technology, it's also making sure that we're able to work together, and the value of all of this working together is super important. And thank you for being part of the hackathon. Also for Elianne, thank you for being part of the hackathon. And this is super, super valuable, not only for the community, but also for Microsoft to understand what people are building, how they're building things as well. And there will be more hackathons. Absolutely, there's going to be more hackathons. There's going to be an agent hackathon. Actually, there's going to be a live hackathon even in a Power Platform conference in October. And then we're looking into doing virtual hackathons definitely in future as well. I will get more details on schedules, dates, and all of that stuff as we get stuff locked down. But based on all of feedback, for example, for SharePoint, there's going to be a SharePoint hackathon. I'm sure that powerful Devs Hackathon will be coming back as well within next months. Well, not months, but within upcoming 12 months for sure. So definitely. But thank you for both and for both demo teams or for submitting and for the both of the demos today. Really, really cool stuff. Now, next week, we are, let me click it in here. Next week, we're moving back on the weekly mode and where we basically Tuesday, Microsoft presenters, Thursday is community presenters. And on Tuesday's call, we might have one more demo there related on Copilot Studio, but yet to be confirmed. But we will definitely have Rabia Williams talking about declarative agents for Microsoft 365 Copilot with TypeSpec. Pretty developer-oriented scenario for sure. And then Ayça Baş is going to talk about bringing your custom engine agents to Microsoft 365 Copilot chat. So those are the confirmed demos for next Tuesday at the same time, 8 a.m. Pacific time on 2nd of September. In the meanwhile, we do have Thursday demo, Thursday call coming up on this week as well. There's a lot of cool demos there. You can also take advantage of our Discord server. We are closing in the 3,000 members in the server to have a discussion between other community members. So if you are in Discord, great option to actually get this one in the list of servers where you're going to join and have a chat with other people within the community. And we are always also looking into feedback related on our community calls. This really helps us on thinking on future, on what kind of topics should be covered, what we should be adjusting within the process, and the style of the community calls as well. So thank you for your feedback advance. Positive feedback definitely always welcome as well. Helps on giving us a good positive indications for our leadership on the value of these calls. But that's it for today. We will process the recording within 24 hours, and that's going to be published at the Microsoft Community Learning channel in the YouTube. You want to subscribe there. That is the location where we're going to publish more videos every single day on different topics on Copilot and Microsoft Teams and SharePoint and Power Apps and many other things as well. LinkedIn, community, social media, a lot of options to follow up on what's happening. All of the available calls has at AKMS community calls. That's the easiest location to download the recurrent invites, and then those will be in your calendar and you know when the calls are actually happening. But that's it for today. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you one more time for all of the presenters, and that was a great call, and we'll be back within upcoming days for Thursday call, and then within a week for another round of a weekly community calls with Microsoft presenters. Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.